it's a miracle. The show is live. We are live and direct. We are actually exactly on time today. It's a miracle. How is everybody today? It's time for, we got to do a little bit of roll call here. We've got Kevin, Dan, Dorothy, Richard in Alaska. I always want to say Arkansas, Alaska. Sandy, and U.S. Dent appears to be new here, or it's been a while. And Alpha Geek Radio says we're live. Welcome to our Alpha Geek Radio listeners. How you doing tonight, Steve?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing, Podfeet?
We're celebrating a big birthday here, huh?
Yes. Tesla is 3 years old today.
We took her to Sentinella Feed for her birthday, which is her favorite pet food store.
Yeah, she loves it there because she knows she's always getting a treat.
Absolutely.
The people that work there are suckers for her.
Yeah, she does seem to sweet talk them pretty easily into some snacks. Well, we are drinking in, I always want to say even keel, but it's not. Longfin Lager, yes, out of a beautiful new sculpin glass, which I will show you again and again if Lindsay comes in later. We'll do it for her again. All right. Has the site gone live yet? I don't see or hear anything, Sandy says.
It has gone live.
All right. So you telling me that maybe you should tell her it is?
Doing it now.
All right. Let me do a little test recording here. Make sure everybody can hear me. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Why doesn't play work sometimes? Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Sound good?
A little bit quieter than live, but sounds good.
Yeah, a little bit quieter than live, yeah. Why is... You know what? I don't understand this app. Sometimes... You're going to start about right there, I think. All right, we are, let's see, I think we are ready to go. We've got a lively audience. We've got NC 49840. Hello. U.S. Dent. Got to figure out who U.S. Dent is, Steve.
Yes, U.S. Dent, I think maybe new, unless he or she is coming in with a different name.
U.S. Dent said has been a while, so they've been here before.
Huh.
Restarting work this time.
Well, welcome back, U.S. Dent.
All right. Well, you need to get him into the magic decoder ring, Steve.
Yep. All right. So
his or her identification is listed. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start because I got a lot to do today. Big show. Here we go. Oh, was it last week you guys screwed up let me screw up the date and didn't correct me? The day? I think I said it was Saturday, and it was really because I did a test recording and then it came out good, so I didn't fix it. And I think you guys didn't tell me. All right, Kevin's a big shoe. All right, here we go. Are you muted, Steve? Yes, you are. Good. All right, here we go. What is going on? That's what's going on. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, January 17th, 2016, and this is show number 558. We have a fun-packed show for you today, I'm telling you. We're going to start with a short audio clip from George from Tulsa on a new headset mic. That sounds really, really good. Next up, we'll hear about the Catalyst waterproof Apple Watch case and the Clever Pet Smart Pet Feeder, both from CES. We'll have a palette cleanser where I'm going to explain how Steve and I did a 3-camera shoot for a video I'm doing for Don McAllister's Screencast Online. It was crazy. All right, then we're going to go back to CES with an interview with NASA where Steve makes his debut in front of the mic and camera. And you'll be the judge on how well he did. I think he did great. Spoiler. Anyway, then we'll find out about the Canary home security system. Many thanks to Steve for all of his production work on these. He's been going at these like a machine. Lots more to come. Anyway, we're going to finally close out the show with a happy, joy improvement to 1Password from AgileBits. Good thing I split Chit Chat across the pond to its own show, right? This thing would be about 4 hours long. Well, speaking of chit chat across the pond, this week I had my arch nemesis, Chuck Joyner of Mac Voices, on the show to talk about how the Apple Watch was able to get someone who was not at all interested in exercise to actually start getting healthier. We also get off topic and talk about the gear he uses to do his one-man band method of covering CES for video interviews. It was really, really fun. Do a search for Chit Chat Across the Pond in your favorite podcatcher: iTunes, Downcast, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Alpha Geek Media. It's everywhere. Heck, you can even listen to podfeed.com by just clicking on Chit Chat Across the Pond in the menu bar. All right, you should be able to go find that, right? Anyway, let's go give George from Tulsa a listen.
So we had a few folks join us, including Mark, Tashawn or Tashan. I'm not sure the pronunciation.
Tashawn. Oh, hi, Tashawn.
And Sandy.
All right, Tashawn. I don't recognize that name. Hope you're here.
Oh, it's Jamal. It's Jamal.
It's Jamal.
Okay.
Oh, Jamal, you're back. Nice to see you again. Did we ever get an identity on US Dent?
No.
Okay, let me listen back to this. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast. Better at nailing that. At podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, January 17th, 2016, and this is show number 558. Hey, it was pretty good. I'm going to take it.
Not bad. I have high levels of expectation.
Yeah, you do.
High standards.
All right, let's see. Now I got to get this right there. Okay, so now we got to go find George. Oh, you guys are going to be so happy when you hear George's voice. Remember how he had that horrible hum? Let's see. I need a new track here. Let me do a track for George, just in case. I'm going to do a track for... pile those up for now. I'm going to do a track for CES too. Oops. Okay, so we're going to go on the George track. This is going to be tricky. So how do we got to go right there. So, oh, now I could do move insertion point to playhead. That might work.
Speaking of George, Cold in Tulsa just joined us.
Oh, yay, George, you're just in time. Here we go. Oh, actually, I didn't need to do all that work because that's just going to go right there. I was stressing out, but ooh, wow, George looks loud. I'm going to bring him down. I'm going to bring you down, George. I'm sorry to bring you down. 6.3. Actually, let's keep going. What does that say? I can't read it. Okay, 6.8. And I'm going to go to the end. Make sure that's it. Oh, that did it. Okay, good. All right, let's hear how that transition goes. Anyway, let's go give George from Tulsa a listen.
Back in February 2013's episode 405, I did a mini review and buy recommendation of the Turtle Beach M5 stereo mobile gaming headset. Sadly, nothing lasts forever, and when I needed to replace my M5s, they were out of production. So a few months ago, I replaced them with an even better Turtle Beach Air Force Z11. Speaking of nothing lasting forever, the Z11 has already been replaced with the scary-sounding Air Force Recon 50 gaming headset. Scary name aside, the R50 looks similar to the Z11. 3.5 millimeter jack, mic switch, and volume control, boom mic, full over the ear, and very comfortable ventilated headset cups. Based on my satisfaction with the Z11, if you want a decent headset for a 3.5 millimeter gaming, Skype, Hangouts, listening to media, or just making phone calls, the Recon 50s look to be a safe bet. $40 on Amazon. FYI, I recorded this piece using the Z11 boom mic directly to a WAV file on my little Asus Chromebook Flip using the free Chrome browser audio recorder app. You'll find the usual links on podfeet.com, including one to Amazon via Allison's affiliate page for the Recon 50s.
Isn't that fantastic? Whoops. Hi, Tesla. Tesla wants on screen because it's her birthday. Okay, I can't. She comes up and she grabs my hand when I'm on the trackpad. It's pretty funny. All right, let's see.
Do you want a couple cats to help out?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think I needed. All right, let's see. Here we go. Wow, George, that sounds fantastic. That Z11, man, that sounds really, really good. I love that you're doing it on a Chromebook Flip. And so, man, you did this for low budget, and it sounds fantastic. I really would have sworn you on a high-end mic. I'm used to headsets sounding all tinny and annoying, so these sound great. And I like the name Recon 50. That sounds way cooler than Z11. Anyway, thanks for sending that in, and always love your reviews. Well, last week on the podcast, I told you about June Lai from Catalyst. She was a woman that had that terrible travel day and then almost got a martini, but we stopped her and then we went ahead and let her have it. Anyway, she was the one who performed as a trooper for our interview. And here is that conversation. I know. How'd she get to be 3? Well, we got her when she was like 9 months old, so she wasn't a baby.
Page for the Recon 50s.
I think that should slide over some.
For the Recon 50s.
Wow, George, that sounds fantastic. That Z11. All right. Here we go. So next we're going to do, I said Catalyst, right? So Catalyst is over here. All right. So Catalyst, we're going to put right there. Let's take a look. I don't know how long these are. I didn't add them all up. By the way, we've decided, Steve and I have decided to not give you every interview. We're going to post videos of everyone, but some of them, you know, they can't all be winners. Let me just put it that way. So we're going to spare you some of those. All right. Oh, I got to save. Should I save? How come nobody else save anymore? Oh, you did say y'all save, didn't you, Kevin? Don't. All right, we got to go to NosillaCast Audio 2016. This is NC and do not expand. Nobody's figured out my problem for me yet. 117. Of my text expander or my shortcuts from iOS bleeding into my Mac. Lindsay's texting me with pictures of sushi she can eat. And here is that conversation. So we're walking by a booth and we see Bubbles with little tiny baby little Nemos in there. We had to stop by and talk to June Lai from Catalyst to see what you've got underwater.
Awesome.
Well, hi, John 905R. Very nice to meet you. Lovely to have you here. That's super fun. All right. Ooh, this is long. Oh, this show's gonna be so long. Oh well. Uh-oh. Don't do whatever you just did. Save. Okay, right there. Oh, but I want to be up here. Gotta do this visually. This is very weird. Figured it out. You just didn't like the solution? Wait, what solution didn't I like, George? Oh, Dorothy, tell George how much you like the peanuts. I took a recipe from Dorothy's mother-in-law and combined it with fresh raw peanuts from George and made the best peanut clusters ever.
Well, I'll give those 2 big thumbs up.
The recipe and the peanuts and the execution.
Well, at least the taste from the result.
Oh, break the connection between iOS and your Mac. Oh, okay. You must be talking about the way you recorded. That's all I can figure out. Okay, let me keep going. I really think you should go over to the blog and watch the video to see how June performs origami on herself to take that photograph you heard her take. It was pretty impressive. Now that I think about it, I'm not exactly sure how she did that because she was showing the watch. I think she used the watch to trigger the phone. I'm not really sure how she did it. I need to go back and watch it myself. All right, let's jump in and listen to the Clever Pet Smart Pet Feeder. How did she take that photo, Steve?
Which photo?
Remember when June did this thing where she had her arm over her left arm with the watch over like this, and she had her phone, and she managed to tap the screen with the third hand, like she was holding the phone, and I don't know how she did that.
I don't either.
I have to go watch that one.
You mean the picture of her doing that, or the picture with the taking the picture with the watch?
The way she took the picture with the watch.
No, I don't know how she did that.
I don't know how she did that.
Maybe she had an app that treated the
expander.
watch as a remote for the phone. For the camera.
Okay. Oh, George says he's talking about the text expander issue. Well, we know 824 is Bob. But yeah, apparently that doing that Nick thing is not working on the app, Steve. Looks like Bob's having some trouble there. All right, let me play this back.
Thank you, Allison.
I really think.
Thank you, Allison.
I really think you. Nice. Good job on that audio, Steve. It sounds really good. All right. So next up, we're going to do Clever Smet. Okay, so Catalyst is done. And we'll drop in Clever Pet. Wow, it's a huge part. Okay, Steve's Wingman is just called Steve's Wingman. Yeah, why is that not working? You've done that before, haven't you, Steve?
I don't think I've done it from the NosillaCast app, so maybe that's something we need Donald to help us out with. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Dan is coming from the app, and he's Dan VA3 ETS, right?
I think you can enter a name once you're in the app, but I think you have to go to the settings or the options panel to change your name first.
Okay, maybe type it in the chat room form. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, let's hear how this sounds. Smart Pet Feeder. Okay, this is crazy. So the idea of this device is that actually you can be down here too with me if you want. I gotta go back and watch this video because I'm actually on the floor with a dog in that interview. So that's a pretty fun one. All right, I'm gonna go right there. Okay, you guys really might want to go watch that one too. The Clever Pet. Nah, cancel. Discard. You guys really might want to go watch that one too with the Clever Pet Smart Pet Feeder. They had a dog named Princess Fiona, and I was down on the floor with her and rolling around. And Steve actually likes me to do silly things in the videos, so we kind of gravitate towards opportunities for me to make a fool of myself, and I think I did that one. Anyway, let's take a break so I can tell you how much fun we had this week. I know I muffed some of that line, but yeah, what the heck? Just winging it. You guys really might want to go watch that one. Thank you very much. This is really cool.
All right. Thank you.
You guys really might want to go watch that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Steve just had
It's Bob. It's Honda Bob.
Oh, it's Honda Bob.
Yes.
Oh, Honda Bob. Now it says Honda. Yay, Honda Bob. Honda Bob is getting better and better and better and healthier. Steve, or Bob, after I posted about that and talked about it on the show, I got a whole bunch of people writing about how happy they were that you were doing so well. So definitely your fans are excited. For anybody who's in the chat room and doesn't know, Honda Bob had a bone marrow transplant before Christmas, and he's doing great. His blood is, his body's making blood now. He's got the blood type of the donor. It's all been like a total miracle. So, so pretty cool stuff. All right. I need to find this. So yeah, yay, Bob. Okay. And I want pull this up here so you're not distracting me. And then we'll go to here. Okay. Can actually do some work. Save. Oh, we're at 15 minutes. This is going to be a long show. All right, here we go. I've mentioned before that I do video screencasts for Don McAllister's Screencast Online subscription podcast. He lets me pick the topic with veto powers, but this time he probably should have talked me out of it. Video screencasting is really tough work, but it's made easier by the fantastic application ScreenFlow from Telestream. It captures your desktop video and audio sources and has a fantastic editor. Like I said, it's really hard work, but it's super fun. This week, I thought it'd be interesting to demonstrate two apps that allow you to use your iOS devices as accessories for your Mac. Duet Display is the first one, and it allows your iPhone or iPad to work as a secondary display. This is wicked cool, especially when you're away on travel and maybe you don't have your dual monitor set up like you've got at home, if you're that spoiled. I've used the iPad Pro as a second monitor to the 12-inch MacBook, and it's glorious on travel. The second application is called AstroPad, and its purpose is sort of the opposite. It allows you to use your iOS device as a graphics tablet. This means you can use your favorite Mac application as though it's running on the iPad. It works on the iPhone, iPad, and iPad. It works on the iPhone and the iPad with Bluetooth styluses and the iPad Pro with full support of the Apple Pencil. AstroPad is targeting the market that can't just quite justify or afford a Cintiq graphics tablet. Normally, when demonstrating an iOS application, we can use an app like Reflector to allow us to AirPlay the iOS display back to the Mac, and that way I can record it with ScreenFlow. But think about it. I'm going to be demonstrating an app that reflects the Mac screen onto the iOS devices. I tested it out for grins and giggles, and as expected, it was like looking into a hall of mirrors with the image getting down to an individual pixel in the end. So that meant live video was required for this screencast. Now to the video production. All Steve and I had to do was figure out how to record an iPhone, an iPad Air, an iPad Pro, an Apple Pencil, and a Mac, all without jarring changes to the scene for the viewer. I mentioned Steve because, of course, this isn't just a screencast. It requires external video cameras. I could capture the video of my Mac using ScreenFlow, of course, but we also needed video of the iPad and iPhone as well as my hand gestures. We started with Steve's prosumer Canon video camera on a tripod. This is a camera we use for all of our NosillaCast video interviews. We ran a test, and he was able to capture the entire scene with a Mac on the left and the iPad Pro on the right, and it looked pretty good. Then we tried to zoom in on one device or the other in ScreenFlow, and it looked horrible. Not anywhere near readable. That's when we remembered that his camera is 1080p, and my produced video is 1080p. So I simply cannot zoom in to make the text more readable. Then Steve remembered that his snazzy new iPhone 6S does 4K video. Yep, we live in a world where the phone in his pocket produces a better video than his 4-year-old prosumer video camera. Crazy times we're in. Well, it's a good thing we have two identical tripods from Manfrotto, right? You remember that story. And remember the square jellyfish tripod adapter for phones that I told you about years ago? Well, we use that too. Steve decided we'd use the 4K iPhone footage for the wide-angle, high-quality image of everything from the Mac to the iPad to my hands. The ScreenFlow recording would be used for high video quality on the Mac, and that left the real video camera free to be optically zoomed in just on the iPad screen, giving us a high-quality image without resorting to any kind of digital zoom. Being engineers, we used blue painter's tape on the floor to mark the locations of all 6 legs of the tripods and clear tape on the table to mark the locations of the Mac and the iPad. If I had to take a break and needed to use one of the devices and then put it back or come back the next day, we can't have a jarring change in the video. So the tape was a big success. All right, one more thing. None of this works if my audio sounds like doo-doo. So I realized that with my fancy new Shure MVI digital audio interface, I could bring my big girl mic downstairs to the dining room where all of this was set up. But I decided we really needed to simplify something in this mess and use my travel mic, the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. It supports XLR, but it also works great over USB. When we did the recording, Steve had me do a big clap where both cameras could see it and all 3 microphones could hear it. That would allow me to line the video tracks up correctly using that little spike in the audio. All right, now to pull the videos into ScreenFlow. The screen capture footage was already in ScreenFlow, but the iPhone footage and the camcorder recording turned out to be an additional challenge. The camcorder records all videos into one file called AVCHD. So if Steve took 5 recordings, there's just one AVCHD file. I can't pull that whole thing into ScreenFlow, so instead I was able to open the AVCHD file in QuickTime and choose one video recording at a time to export to my disk. At first, I just did a save in QuickTime and chose .mov format, but I noticed when I brought them into ScreenFlow that if I had a lot of hand movements, my hands would get weird, like wavy lines through them. It was really strange. Definitely not what I was looking for. I went back to QuickTime and I chose iPad and Apple TV as the format, and it made them .m4v files that didn't have that weird problem. If we were to do this again, we would probably have Steve import them into Final Cut and then export them, because there was even less problem if we did it that way. One of the last clips, we actually had him do the export. All right, next is the 4K video from the iPhone. While ScreenFlow can import 4K video, it couldn't see the iPhone as a disk when it was connected. No problem. I pulled the video off the phone using Apple Photos and then simply exported as full size onto the disk, and then I was able to import into ScreenFlow. All right, now it's time for some real fun. ScreenFlow is a fantastic editor, as I mentioned earlier, so I was looking forward to this part. I was able to pull all 3 sources into the timeline and color code them so I could keep track of which one was which. The topmost video is the one that will show in the final produced video, so I put the iPhone's 4K video on top, and then I aligned the videos by looking at the 3 audio waveforms for that clap I talked about. The iPhone and camcorder streams had the audio embedded into the video track, so next, after aligning them, I told ScreenFlow to extract the audio and simply dump their audio tracks. I found out from Don later that I could have just muted the audio and then I wouldn't have had to listen to it, but I would have still had it, which would have made it easier after I did some of the cutting to line things back up. Oh well, live and learn. It was great fun to switch cameras, adding a fade out on the main 4K video track and then a zoom in video action on the camcorder footage worked really well. This is where ScreenFlow shines. I also discovered video actions that allowed me to match the footage better, such as brightness and contrast, and maybe more importantly, white balance. The white balance act's a little weird, and I think I just got lucky because sometimes when I try to do it, I can't get it to do what I want. But if I knew what I was doing, I bet I could. Anyway, setting these adjustments allows me, again, to keep from making the changes so jarring to the viewer. ScreenFlow makes it easy to pick up and paste adjustments individually. So once I got a clip looking the way I liked it, I was able to set all of the clips from that camera to have the same lighting. And then I pretty much noticed I was out of disk space. Yeah, I realized I had some of this footage was in Photos. It was also on the disk after I'd done the export from Photos, and then it was in the ScreenFlow project. And worse yet, I do the ScreenFlow projects, I do them inside Dropbox, and my other account on the same Mac was syncing that same Dropbox folder. So I literally, on my 1 terabyte drive, I had 6 gigabytes of space. I'm going to run out again soon because I've added more footage to this video, but I'm going to be able to clean that up before I deliver to Don tomorrow. I love doing this project, even though it took a terribly long amount of time and it was really, really hard. I learned so much about the capability of our tools. You know, without a challenging project like this, I never would have learned to stretch myself to learn. Without a challenging project like this, I never would have stretched myself like this to learn. Okay, did you hear I did 2 gaps there? Hopefully I'm going to be able to, hopefully I will remember what the earlier one was. I know I did one early on. Whenever you want to make a correction, just stop. Don't say anything for a little bit, and then you'll be able to see where you need to stop. Let's see. You little safe word. I never would have learned. Okay. All right, from there, I wish you guys could see what I was doing. I think it was more fun when you could see me and the editor of our tools. You know, without a challenging project like this, cut a little bit more. Undo and start here. There we go, from there to there. And try that again. Really, really hard. I learned so much about the capability of our tools. Without a challenging project, Okay, so now we got to find the one early on. I don't remember how early it was. See, there it is. Obvious gap. I should show you this because this is a technique I figured out all on my own. I'm going to switch us to. All right, you should be seeing off audio, whatever this is called, Amadeus Pro. So right here, see this gap right in there? What are you coughing about, Steve? You unmuted just so we could hear you cough?
Sorry.
Good timing, dear. So you see that big gap there? That gap is where I was able to, I did that on purpose so I'd be able to hear where I screwed, I'd be able to see where I screwed up. The trick was remembering how many times I screwed up. Let's see. Doing that. Was right here. But this has a nice feature. If you look at the top, I've got a little thing that I can zoom in and I can slide it around so I could find that again. Okay, here, let's see let's listen from there. You can use your favorite Mac application as though it's running on the iPad. Works on the iPhone, iPad, and iPad. Yeah, that's where it was. I remember that now. So let me grab that in red, and then I simply hit delete. And it ripple deletes. You can use your favorite Mac application as though it's running on the iPad. It works on the iPhone. So you can use your iOS device as a graphics tablet. This means you can use your favorite Mac application as though it's running on the iPad. It works on the. Okay. Yes.
So blue is playhead, red is record head?
Insertion point is what they call it. But blue is playhead.
What does red do?
It's what you said. It is what you said, but that's not what they call it.
If you started recording right now, would it record over everything in front of the red?
To the right of the red.
The right of the red? Okay.
So this is interesting. You can be on screen, but I can't be on screen. Maybe if I logged in twice. Yeah, if I logged in as me twice, like you do sometimes.
You'd have to have.
I could log in as the other. Oh no, but
you'd have to have a separate camera somewhere. It can't be on the same machine, I think. Or you'd have to have at least a different camera. See, I'm logging. When I do that twice, one of me is actually you on a different computer.
You've always wanted to be me, Steve.
And the other is actually me.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't work. All right, stop screen sharing. All right, here we go. Let me listen to that transition and see whether that's good.
Thank you.
You guys really might want to go watch that one too. Okay. Could you set up a separate Hangout transmission of your screen? Yeah, there's got to be a way to do this. I really think that it's possible with some software from Boinks. I think their Boinks TV app might be able to do that. But they changed the name of it. It's really expensive. I would like to have it, but it's expensive. I'm not sure it would work. All right, where are we? 3 camera shoot. Okay, it's time for Steve's debut. All right. Actually, I should show you what I have to do with the red line to find the record spot, Steve. That's really entertaining.
Please do.
Okay, let me cancel that recording.
Is this where you don't want me to talk?
Yeah, this is where I don't want you to talk. Is that Don Moeller? We do know somebody named Don Moeller, Moeller. That might be Don. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Don Moeller's been in here before. Wow, people coming out of the woodwork. Wait, who's Lippo? Lippo's been here before. I don't know these names. So exciting. All right, no talking. Well, while we're on a break here, let me remind you that the funding for the NosillaCast comes entirely from you guys using the Amazon affiliate link over at podfeet.com whenever you shop at Amazon. Some people make a bookmark called Amazon, but it's actually a link to podfeet.com so that they remember to use the link. Once you're there, just click on the big Amazon logo. All it is a link. It's not JavaScript or anything. It's just a big Amazon logo with a link to my affiliate link. And if you do that, a small percentage helps to keep the servers going. All right, I've teased you long enough. Let's hear Steve Sheridan's long-anticipated debut in front of the mic and camera. All right, here we go, Steve. You're probably going to want me to play this one.
Just skip this one over.
Okay, let me see. Listen to this gap. I would have stretched myself like this to learn. Well, while we're on a break, it's a little bit long. Self like this to learn. Well, while we're on a break, yeah, I like that. Save. All right, here you go, Steve. All right. Did I just do, I did Clever Pet, right? Did I do Clever Pet? Let me just make sure. It doesn't tell me the name of the track.
Lippo is Michael Plant.
Michael Plant? How are you, Mike? Nice to see you. All right. Michael Plant, how do we get Lippo? It's like hippo, but not, let me just, come on, stop doing that. I want to be at this one. Just want to make sure that that's. Okay, this is crazy. So the idea of this device is that, actually you can be down here too with me if you. Okay, yeah, that is Clever Pet. Good. All right, now I'm done teasing you. I'm going to play you Steve's track. Here we go. I think he did a good job. Okay. Yeah, we got time to play the whole thing. All right. Maybe we should have you on screen. You can talk over yourself, Steve.
Wait,
of the mic and camera. What?
Ian asked a good question you might want to answer about the Amazon link.
Oh, let's see. What was the link? Oh, is it by country? You have to start at the link or you can go back and click. I think you have to start at the link. That's the key. The other thing I wonder about is if you start at podfeed.com and you put something in your cart and then you come back 3 days later and buy it. I don't know if that counts. I'm not sure, but I know you have to start at the link for the search. Like you hit that and then do a search and whatever you find from there on in will work. All right, here we go. Front of the mic and camera.
Hi, Steve Sheridan here for the NosillaCast, and I'm here with Trey. Trey, nice to meet you. Now, what do you do at NASA?
I'm a strategic communication manager for the new space launch system,
and
which is right behind us.
And this is a beauty. What is this going to do for mankind?
Oh, it's going to change the world. What this can do is expand our science capabilities and put humans further than we've ever gone before into space.
Excellent. So what's the first, what have you tested so far with this rocket?
We fired everything on the rocket so far except for the main core stage. So we fired the RS-25 engines, we fired the solid rocket boosters, and we've already flown Orion around the Earth. All we're doing now is putting together the gas tank, then we'll put it all together, test it, we get one test firing, and then we ship it to the Cape, put it all together in the VAB, and in June, July timeframe of 2018, off we go.
Very cool. So Orion, this is the capsule that will eventually hold humans, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
About how many people will that hold?
You can hold 4 to 6, but for the first mission, it's going to be configured for 4.
Very good. The first mission in June, or?
No, it'll be configured that way, but it'll be stuffed with test equipment because we want to make sure it can handle the radiation of deep space.
Okay. So when will this first go up with humans?
It's scheduled for 2021 right now. We hope to make it then. It all depends on budgeting and scheduling and everything else. But I see a building excitement in America for exploration, and hopefully we'll keep doing that.
No doubt. Oh yeah, tell us that first mission in June. What are you kind of map out that mission a little?
The main priority is to test Orion, but there's also a really cool point called the Lagrangian point. It's L2 is what we call it, which is a point where the Earth-Moon gravity negates itself. So if you put something there, it stays there. It doesn't go in orbit around the moon. It goes in a really tiny halo orbit, which would be a really good place for a gas station.
Yeah, like a parking spot for a gas station. Excellent.
Or if you had to put up habitats, you'd always know where to find it.
Very cool, very cool. These look oddly familiar to the solid rocket boosters from the shuttle. How are they similar?
Very similar. The shuttle solid rocket boosters had 4 segments. These have 5, so we get 20% more power out of each SRB.
Very good. And how would this compare to, say, the Saturn V that took us to the moon?
Well, it's about 40 feet shorter, but it's got 1.3 million pounds more thrust than the Saturn V. So this will carry about 86 Mini Coopers worth of stuff past low Earth orbit.
That is impressive. So technology has come along for more thrust for smaller volume.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting better, and we're trying to be as affordable as possible as we can, because exploration is important, and we need to do it.
Well, we are big supporters at the NosillaCast. We appreciate your time, Trey, and the best of luck. We'll be watching in June.
All right, great. Thanks. Y'all take care.
Yay!
My favorite part was when he talked about fitting 86 Mini Coopers in the payload.
Yeah, why do they always do that? It's always like the size of a van or size of a
Yeah, they tried to make it something that you could visualize or conceptualize.
Yeah, I guess so. That was funny. All right, you wanted to see what I have to do to put my audio in. This is yeah, here we go. All right, so the very top track is just that area where I showed you, where I can, as I slide this little thing back and forth on the top, it changes the view I've got. I can make it wider and I can slide it. So this big gray empty area here, that's my track. And down here is the track where we just heard Steve. That track is selected right now. You can tell because it's dark. If I tap up here, you see how that turned dark and this turned light. But this just kind of turned kind of a darker gray. Well, I want to move my insertion point. I can move the playhead here, but that playhead that's not the insertion point. So that playhead is looking at the bottom track. So what I have to do, I click up here and I move my cursor until it's lined up with what looks to be directly above this track. But I don't get the little red line because I have no audio there. If I had audio there, I could see that track, but I can't. So it's really, really hard to do that. Does that make sense, Steve? Hi, Kevin. Did that make sense, Steve?
I think so. It's more complicated than Final Cut.
Yeah.
At least it is.
Yeah, if I were down here on this track and I move around, see how I get a red line and I can select and stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm up here, and now notice that red line is not where the one, there's no red line above, and there's one down below. It's an insertion point on a track that doesn't have any audio.
Yeah, that's
Makes
tough.
it a little hard.
That's not quite as friendly.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Kevin left us? Okay. Mark. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Well, I think Steve did a terrific job. And just in case you think I'm biased, the live chat room has been applauding and they're very excited about his debut, especially Kevin, his wingman. Anyway, you could sure tell in that interview that he has a passion for space, can't you? Well, next up, here's the one product I think I might actually buy for myself from CES.
Switch back to yourself.
Oh, thank you. I always forget to do that. All right, but now it's going to be me just looking at the screen. So now I have to go back here and see how that came out.
Take care.
Well, I think Steve did that's all right. See, I'm getting pretty good at guessing where that line is. All right, so now we're going to do Canary. What a fun party. Got all these people back. Haven't been around. New people, old people. Not you, George. I meant Honda Bob. From CES. Yes. I don't know why it does that. Okay, there we go. Yes.
So I'm lucky enough to have a TSA agent watching my house while I'm gone. But if you don't, you might be interested in what Canary has to offer.
All right. By the way, here's an advantage of the way this works. I set the level, that little green thing, the line that you pull up and down, Steve, the one that goes 6.8 dB down. It set it for the entire track. So as I'm adding new clips in, they're all down 6.6 dB, which is good since they were all recorded in the same environment. So by keeping on the track, same track, they're all sticking together.
Excellent.
Yeah, one thing was easier. All right. Here we go. I need this up. All right. Okay, that's enough interviews for this week. I did want to tell you that I'm not playing every interview. I'm just playing the good ones because some of them, well, they can't all be winners. But anyway, all the videos are up because the people took the time, but don't tell them we didn't put all of the audio clips in. I did promise you a happy joy story, and I'm going to tell you that right now. When I switched from LastPass to 1Password from AgileBits a few years ago, the only thing I really missed was the method LastPass used to allow password sharing. Steve and I share a lot of passwords, like for bank accounts and that sort of thing. So this was super important to us. In LastPass, you could simply select the login and share it to someone, either as read-only or allow them to have privileges to change the password. Was it perfect? I mean, LastPass's interface a little bit rough, but it worked for us. In 1Password, it's done differently, and I didn't like it at first nearly as much. You create multiple vaults. So Steve has his own primary vault, I have my own primary vault, and we both have write privileges to a third shared vault. Setting it up wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It turns out one person creates it, puts it in Dropbox, and then shares it to the other person. I was worried that we would have to have a third password to open it, but it turns out we're both able to access it with our own 1Password password. Well, the bad news is that when you're searching for a password, you have to remember in which vault you save that particular login. Early on, I was constantly trying to get into my bank account, not being able to find it, panicking that I'd somehow deleted that entry in 1Password. But the problem would be that it was in the shared vault, not my primary vault. Having to remember in which vault you shared a login, stored a login was a real pain. Over time, I didn't panic, but I was still constantly frustrated when I had to switch vaults. In the plugin for browsers, at least, I got into the habit of searching and then using Command 1 and Command 2 to toggle between the vaults to figure out where my logins were. That worked okay, but I was still cranky at all times. It was even worse in iOS because you had to go through several screen taps in order to switch vaults. I love the folks at AgileBits, but I was not happy with them when I had to do this. Well, there was a huge improvement for the iOS app a few revs back. They added the All Vaults option. That allows the user to search across all vaults. Unfortunately, there were, and I think still are, a couple of little bugs with it. Most significant of which is that being in all vaults can stop 1Password from syncing with Dropbox. I was caught on iOS several times without my latest passwords because of this bug. I kept forgetting that the way to fix it was to simply switch back to the specific vault and then back into all vaults. And that kind of kicks Dropbox in the pants and let us have your passwords back. Let you have your passwords back, I should say. So I got caught with that a couple times, and it scares me when it first happens, and I get really worried. Is this whole thing not working? And then I remember that I got to turn it off and turn it back on. So that's not ideal. But I didn't want this to come out as a complaint post because I'm sure they're going to get that fixed. This is indeed a celebration of a glorious upgrade in the Mac version of 1Password. They just released version 6 and has a wonderful new feature. First of all, if you have the non-Mac App Store version of 1Password, you're going to get a notification of an upgrade available. For me, that took me from version 5.4.2 to 5.4.3. Not a big deal, but it turns out that version enables the automatic updater from within 1Password. So as soon as I relaunched 1Password, I was offered version 6. It's really nice that they've added that updater inside the app, but that's not the best part. Here's the glorious news. You can now keep your vault set to all vaults in the native app and in the plugin. You can still use Command 1 and Command 2 to switch between vaults, but now Command 0 lets you switch to all vaults. This makes me so happy I could cry. As long as it still lets Dropbox sync to work, that is. I really hope it does, because this just made me so happy. Such a happy day. And I have to give Steve credit for actually noticing that this happened. I forgot in the blog post to mention that, but Steve's the one who found it. So that's a happy day. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. Follow me on Twitter @podfeet. Check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community. We've been posting, answering questions, people diagnosing problems. We're having so much fun over there. If you want to join in the front of the live show, like US Dent, John 905R, Mike LaPlante, and Don Mueller after a long time did for the first time in a long time, you guys should come on over. Do it. Come to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Boom. Holy cow. It's only 37 minutes long. Thought this was going to be too long. That's perfect. One of the 4 legs didn't deploy. Oh, talking about NASA. All right. Oh. Okay. Well, that's not bad. I thought this show was going to be way too long. Maybe I could have included that silly interview. I didn't like that one. Guy was kind of slimy too. Anyway, okay, so let me... Oh, I got to go get my outro music. Okay, so we go to about 37 minutes. Good night, Ian. So nice of you to join us. All right. Here. So we need this, and we need track. Shift track to 37. Here, and we're going to grab this track. We're going to do a track, shift track 37. Now we're going to go out here to the end. And where is it? Did I just shift the wrong one? What did I just do? Uh-oh. What did I just do? All right, whatever I just did, we don't want to do. Okay, try that again. Outro, that's what I want to, the outro and whatever that says. What does that say? Okay, I've confused myself. All vaults are open. Are there redundant entries, and can they be bulk edited? There wouldn't be redundant entries. It's just like saying I've got A and B. I want to see A plus B. So there's no redundant entries. I don't think. Let me let you see the screen so you can see what anarchy I'm doing. This is fun. All right. So what have I done? Gotta bring my... Gotta look down here. Okay. So this is what I want. I want this outro. That's intro. Well, how did intro get its name changed? Oh yeah. Tessa needs to make her birthday debut, Steve.
I don't know if anyone in the chat room would like to see Tesla.
Yeah, you're right. People don't really like Tessa. Okay, so where? Oh, this one doesn't have to. Is that right? I'm trying to remember if I stretch. Oh, I didn't set it. Hang on. I said to share. Nope. Wait, that one. Share. I thought I was sharing all this time. You and Steve have your own with duplicates. No, we don't have duplicates. Duplicates are not a problem because because we can share those entries. So let's say I've got my login for my bank account. It's only in the shared vault. So stuff exists in one vault or the other. They never exist in both. I think we ran into that a little bit with LastPass because it doesn't do it quite the same, but they're separate. So no, it shouldn't be a problem. Let's see, where was I? Perfect time. Enjoying the friendly and enthusiastic. Okay. All right. Cold in Tulsa's got it. Oh, actually, I want to do this. So this is our outro music. Do you see how the size, as I slide this, the size is changing? I'm not sure what that means.
No.
You can't see that as I slide this back and forth?
I don't see the size.
You don't see the height of the waveform changing?
Oh, the height of the wave. Oh, you must. Yeah, and
I think it's ducking under, but they say there's no such thing.
Well, it's changing right at the point at the end of the
I know,
previous.
and I've asked the developer, and he says no, it doesn't do ducking like that. The
So
way you have to
visually
duck,
ducks, but not audio.
I think so.
That's weird.
Let's hear how this sounds. Check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community. We've been posting, answering questions, people diagnosing problems. We're having so much fun over there. If you want to join in the fun of the live show, like US Dent, John 905R, Mike LaPlante, and Don Mueller after a long time did for the first time in a long time, you guys should come on over. Do it. Come to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. All right. I think that I should check every one of these connections because I goofed around because I made a mistake there. Just make sure. Okay, that's enough. All right. And then we've got this one from CES. All right.
Great. Thanks. Thank you. Y'all take care.
Well, I think Steve. All right. One more mic here and camera. All right. See what I'm doing? I'm moving that thing up top. I love the way that works. That's really,
This is really cool.
All right, thank you.
You guys feel really.
You mean the playhead?
No, it's not the playhead. It's the visual. It's where the zoom area is. Really.
Got it.
Overview of the whole sound is this. I can see the entire track at the same time that I can see what portion am I zoomed up on. So it's really easy to jump around. That feeder.
Okay, this.
Thank you, Allison.
I really think you should. All right. Interview. And here is that conversation. Okay. Almost done.
Affiliate page for the Recon 50s.
Wow, George. I still can't believe how good that headset sounds. That does not sound like a headset, George. Right. Anyway, let's go give George from Tulsa a listen.
Back.
All right. And the beginning. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast. All right. We are a wrap. It is 5:57. Oh, I should have my camera back on so I can say goodbye. All right. We are 5:57. We are now going to say file. Let's see. I'm going to bounce that document to a new file. Since Dan taught me about bouncing, I didn't know anything about bouncing. And now it looks a little bit janky, but that'll be all taken care of with Auphonic. All right, guys. Gonna say goodbye. Thank you very much for coming. It was a huge fun. It's so much more fun for me when a lot of people show up because it's all argumentative and fun and I like it. And it's a lot easier to do the show when I think I've got people actually listening, all 6 of you. Anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. I'm gonna hang up now. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Steve.
Goodbye, Gracie.
They didn't ask for Tesla, did they? They don't even care.
No, not too many dog lovers in the chat room tonight.
I guess so. All right. Bye, guys.